everyone, my name is BlackWitchDirah. I am a Luciferian witch of the left-hand path as well as an occult educator. On this channel we talk about a variety of occult topics, so if that's of interest to you, please consider subscribing. I upload every Saturday. So today I'm going to be talking about something that I've been putting off just because I've not felt like in the right headspace to speak on it. I feel like I have to get quite energized to speak about what I'm going to speak about today. But then earlier today I watched Maggie Moon's latest video about sexual harassment and the left-hand path, and it just, yeah, was very thought-provoking. So it's inspired me to talk about what I want to talk about today, which is the I'm going to say sexualization rather than fetishization, because I'm going to keep saying that and not be able to say it. Sexualization of women, mainly in the occult. I do see it happening to men as well, but with women it seems to be most prominent. And I'm going to go into some branches off of that topic, such as sex magic and sex work as well. But before we get into the topic, a few announcements. On the 30th of April I will be doing a free webinar on baneful magic. It's called the Art of Baneful Magic. It is free to attend, and that will be live at 8 PM UK time on Zoom on the 30th of April, and the link for you to book your space on that is in the description. All the other links to my current projects, such as my second part to my Santa Muerte course, Witch Skills, the Astral Magic class we did, the Initiation into Life and Death, all of those links are in the description as well if you want to check out what I'm currently working on. So the first thing that gave me the idea to talk about this topic was the accumulation of emails, Instagram DMs, even sometimes comments on my media, on my photos, on my videos. Comments from men who claim to be submissive men who are looking for a dominatrix, and assuming that I am the person to fulfill that role for them. Obviously, I am not. That is not what I am. I am not a dominatrix. I am an occultist. I do not offer services of that nature. But I don't think it really matters. I don't think it really matters if I did or if I didn't. I think these types of people are people that get off on the fact that they are messaging someone completely unprovoked and perhaps making someone uncomfortable. I think that is something that they get off on. And then when I've ignored these emails or blocked certain people, I then get loads of subsequent emails and messages from other accounts just saying some really nasty things. And it leaves me sitting here looking at myself and thinking, what am I putting out there that is causing this to happen, right? The reality is it's got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with me. Nothing about me suggests that that is something that I provide or something that I'm into. I don't know if they seem to get some kind of like dominant vibe from me because of my appearance and what I do and what I'm about. It's not something I've given a lot of energy or thought. You know, it's become such a regular occurrence that I kind of just brush it to one side and think whatever, you know. It's not something that gets to me or offends me or shocks me or anything. It's just an annoyance, if anything. And you know, if I really start to think about it and think about the regularity in which that has happened, it is really frustrating. Sometimes I'm offered money for it, but I don't take money when it doesn't feel good. I don't take money for anything that feels inauthentic. Like, you know, it would be so easy to take money from these people and basically just scam them out of it. But I don't want to do that because it doesn't fucking feel right. Like, I want absolutely nothing to do with it whatsoever. And, you know, that's the extreme end of it. That's the extreme end of the kind of sexualization of female occultists in particular. And like I said, I have seen it with male occultists as well. It's just not as prominent. So the other thing is, you know, it can manifest as sort of like flirtation as well. And I've made it, you know, I've had to be very boundaried with people, sometimes clients, saying, look, this is a professional thing. That's not what's happening here. And don't get me wrong, like if someone comments on my YouTube video saying, oh, you look beautiful or whatever, like, thank you. You know, that's not offensive to me. That's not something that I'm talking about here. What's frustrating about it is that I take occultism so seriously. It is the center of my life. It is, you know, it's everything to me. And the amount of time and accumulation of knowledge that it takes to dedicate yourself to this stuff. And it's like, it doesn't matter what comes out of my mouth, but as long as I look pretty, it's okay. So I remember I had this client once, and he was like, he said something about how the infernal bless us with gifts, and he said Lilith has blessed you with beauty, and I was like, is that it? Like, is that like the, you know, the most kind of relevant and important thing about me? Don't get me wrong, if you tell me I look nice, it's a compliment, but that's not the point I'm making. I'm not going, oh, you compliment, like, I'm not going on this fucking feminist rage. It's just, you know, the amount of sacrifice it takes to practice this stuff and evolve through your path, and then to be reduced to what you look like. It's, you know, bottom line, a little bit degrading and insulting. And I've been told by people, the reason that people see you this way is because you're young, you have an alternative appearance, you know, you look a bit goth, you know, you're British, like, I know that people like my voice as well, I've been told. I can't really see the appeal myself, but yeah, I've been told that that's the reason that people are drawn to you in that way. And I'm like, okay, cool, but I'm not here to meet your fetish. That's not what I'm about. Some of you right now that have been following me a while might have something niggling in the back of your head right now about a little something that I did around 18 months ago along the lines of OnlyFans. Can you say it? You can say OnlyFans on YouTube, can't you? Yeah, OnlyFans. Okay, so you might be sitting there thinking, well, Diary, you did kind of put yourself out there a little bit and, you know, hypersexualizing yourself. Yes, I fucking did. I know what I did. That wasn't something that I think I should have done, but I did it. Why did I do it? There's a whole thing I could go into there about that time in my life, but ultimately just know that I was not in a good place. I was not in my right mind, and that whole entire thing was a shadow projection, in the sense that I was enmeshed in my shadow. I was not doing some very important work that I needed to do on myself. And in my personal experience, hypersexualization for me is a trauma response. So you can think of that as one big fucking massive public trauma response, and it's not something I like to think about or look back on. I try not to go into the whole shame thing about it, because shame isn't productive. I don't think that we should feel shame about mistakes that we've made or when we've done things that aren't in our own best interest, but it's more about taking responsibility for the fact that I put myself out there in a way that was inauthentic, off-brand, like not in line with my brand, and used the excuse of empowerment. It's bollocks. It's fucking bollocks. The left-hand path is something that can also be very sexualized, in the sense that, you know, sex magic is referred to a lot, which is a little bit of what Maggie Moon was talking about, how, you know, some of us on the left-hand path are really into our sex magic, and people mistake this as a necessity of something to practice if you are on the left-hand path, and it's not. Sex magic is okay. I feel like there's such a massive appeal to, personally I think it's a little bit overrated. Sex magic, there's a massive appeal to it because it's about sex, because it's about carnal desires, because it's like, oh, I can use something I already really enjoy to also manifest. And fair enough, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into, okay? I've done my fair share of sex magic. But the thing is about certain narratives that are associated with the left-hand path but are not inherently left-hand path narratives, people think that in order to be on the left-hand path they need to adopt these narratives, which is just so anti-left-hand path. It's anti-left-hand path to follow a narrative that just because other people are following it. And I see this so much with so many other things, so many other opinions, and you don't realise that you're still in that herd mentality, sheep mindset of following a notion or a narrative because you think that's what the left-hand path is, and it's not. It's about your own independent thought and free will. So I think the whole sex magic thing can feed into the whole like hypersexualization of female occultists. It's just like, oh, you must practice sex magic, and it's just like, you know, sex magic isn't something that's like naughty and something that's like you know, sinful. It's a real like legit thing and has roots in like a lot of traditions, and it's not something that's taken seriously, I don't think. You know, there's this sort of like comedic thing about it, or this I don't know, like horny thing about it, and it's just like it's not really that. And another thing that people don't like to acknowledge as well is the role that celibacy plays in sex magic. So I briefly mentioned something about the fact that, you know, I'm currently celibate a while ago, and someone took that as me shaming people that weren't celibate, and I was like, where the fuck did you pull that out from? Your asshole, clearly. Because it's just like, why would I shame anyone for having sex? Why would I shame anyone for practicing sex magic? It was a video when I was talking about how, you know, there's this real hypersexualization of the goddesses such as Lilith and, you know, all of that. And it's not about that I think I'm on some kind of higher moral ground because I'm celibate and I'm not currently practicing sex magic, even though you could consider celibacy to be a part of sex magic, but it's not. I'm not celibate for that purpose. I'm celibate right now because that is what works for me. I have spent a lot of my life hypersexualizing myself. My clown actions of starting an OnlyFans are, you know, an extension of that. I've done various other things as well, and that was not empowering for me. I'm going to go into that a little bit further in a minute. That wasn't empowering for me. And so celibacy is something that's working really well for me, to treat my body as sacred and not give it away through things like casual sex, through other means that are, you know, a little bit more subtle than casual sex, and yeah, all of that stuff. But I can understand how sex magic is really liberating for people. I met a lady at Glastonbury who did a workshop on kink magic. I didn't go to it, but we were in the pub after the event, and I mentioned briefly about celibacy, and she kind of like raised an eyebrow, because I feel like, you know, in this sort of like pagan community where, you know, it's so sexually liberated, when you say you're celibate, people are like, why? Like, why are you? And people associate with right-hand path as well, and I'm just like, no, it's not. Anyway, so she sort of raised an eyebrow, and I was like, yeah, you know, it's just what works for me right now. And she said, yeah, I mean, my experience is that I was married for 12 years and wasn't shown an ounce of physical affection. I was like, yeah, fair the fuck enough. Like, I can see why sex magic is really helpful for you. So there's a real nuance to it. So ultimately, if we apply this to left-hand path, it's about doing what works for you and what aligns with you best, what empowers you. But I've mentioned sex work a little bit, and I'm going to go a bit into that. So I feel like sex work is a word or a term that is so heavily attached to sex work is empowerment. And I'm sorry, please, like I know of several occultists that are involved in some type of sex work. This is not a personal attack on anyone. Please, like, do not allow my opinions to offend you, basically, or make you feel a certain way, because at the end of the day, I'm literally just a person, right? I don't think sex work's empowering. Like, I don't think it's empowering at all. I have a strong dislike for porn. I don't like the fact that sex work causes the body to become something transactional, and I just think energetically, giving yourself to people in that way, energetically, it's risky, let's just say. I think it's just, yeah, like I feel like you just have to like constantly fucking cleanse yourself. And I don't mean just physically, I mean like even digital interactions. Like, you know, if sex is a portal to creation, it's just like, you know, what's being created from sex work, you know, because it's something. And as I said, this is absolutely nothing like about shaming at all. I'm not sitting there going, if you are a sex worker, you are disempowering yourself. I'm saying that based on my subjective experience of sex work that I have done on and off. I've had very sort of small intervals of it throughout my life. Yeah, it's my experience and I might be biased, but I think there are certain themes within it that also match the objective reality of it. And I feel like there's now going to be this influx of like, how can you be anti-sex work if you're left-hand path? Because I fucking think independently, mate. Because I think with my own brain, because I form my own opinions, because I have independent thought. But yeah, I'm not about to sit here and tell you that if you're doing sex work, you're wrong. Like, no, you're, you know, free will and all of that. Like, that wouldn't be very left-hand path of me if I was actually directing this at people saying, stop doing sex work. So yeah, that's not what I'm doing. I just feel like you have to over clarify everything you say nowadays because it's just taken out of context, and then it's just going to be like, if I slip up, it's going to be like, Dirah is cancelled, she's a misogynist or something like that, when I'm nothing of the sort. In fact, I don't think you can get more anti-misogyny than this video that I'm making, seeing as it's about sexualization, like the hypersexualization of females in the occult. Personally, sex work damaged me. It was damaging for me, and you know, I've had to make amends to myself for engaging in practices that have harmed me, and I'm still doing that. I'm still trying to make my wrongs towards myself right again. But like I said, that's my experience, and to sum up, what can be done? What can be done? Fuck all, because like, you know, these people that, you know, I'm, for example, getting emails from, and are essentially sexually harassing female occultists, you know, that does, what can you do? Nothing. You can rant about it online and that's about all you can do. Practice sex magic if it's right for you, but I think you need to figure out, like, I think you need to figure out, if you think sex magic is empowering, how is it empowering you? Is it solely for manifestation? Is it improving your relationship with yourself? Is it improving your relationship with your partner? You know, do you have a sex or porn addiction? You know, these are really important things to look at. And to sum up the sex work thing, all I'm saying is I don't agree with the narrative that sex work is empowering, based on my personal experience, which I believe there are themes within that which match the objective reality. So that is all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it to the end of the video, please leave a little black heart in the comments, because I like to see who actually watches my stuff all the way through, because I have an average watch time on my videos of about 5 minutes. And sometimes I just think that TikTok has ruined YouTube entirely, because everyone's just like, I need my dopamine. I can't bear to watch something that's more than like a minute long these days, you know? So yeah, leave a little black heart if you made it all the way through. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. And check out my projects in the description. And I will see you in the next one.